In a universe where you're fighting the bug menace from Starship Troopers, and the next thing you're deploying to fight Skynet, you know you're in for an adrenaline-fueled, high-octane experience. With Helldivers 2 still steamrolling the charts for the last 12 weeks, and the fact that Helldivers 2 equates to 90% of my YouTube channel, I thought it's about time I show some appreciation to a game that has united so many people to fight the good fight for Super Earth and to spread that much needed democracy. I'm Blagger, and this is Helldivers 2, gaming done right. Arrowhead Studios is the developer of the Helldivers franchise and is a great example of a studio that does things right, from game creation to community engagement to its ethics. Arrowhead is a relatively small independent game studio currently based in Stockholm, Sweden, who always had a focus on creating multiplayer co-op titles like Magicka, which was their first ever game, which won them the Game of the Year at the Sweden Game Awards in 2008, and their other title they released called Gauntlet, a hack and slash fantasy game with a focus on a multiplayer co-op as well. So you can see they had their practice developing co-op games with teamwork and friendly fire at its core before moving on to the Helldivers series. The original Helldivers was released in March 2015 and was a top-down shooter taking inspiration from movie franchises like Alien and Starship Troopers. It received generally favourable reviews by critics and had the core values of their first ever title Magicka, from its co-op multiplayer system, friendly fire and overcoming strong enemy numbers.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over. What are we gonna do now? What are we gonna do?
Helldivers didn't have a multiple difficulty system like it does now, but instead went with a single set difficulty and just had the planets get harder as you progress through your skirmish. The small but loyal following got people talking, and in May 2023, Arrowhead officially announced that Helldivers 2 is currently in the works, much to the fans' delight, which brings us up to now. Helldivers 2 was released in the February of 2024 and was well received by critics and fans alike, selling over 8 million copies within its first 2 months and being the biggest selling game in Europe and the United Kingdom for the month of February. Helldivers 2 now holds the title of having the largest launch of any PlayStation Studios game that was available for PC on release.
Damn! I'm sorry.
It's surprising that a game that retails at $34.99 instead of the standard $59.99 in this greedy day and age, and that is on par or above the current AAA game titles, is a breath of fresh air and should be held as an example of how respecting your customer base should be. So bear with me, but this might sound strange, but imagine you load up Helldivers 2, you go to your battle pass, also known as your war bond, and you're surprised. You're looking for a timer or some sort of FOMO inducing metric, and all you see is a few premium war bonds that to your shock are unlimited and will never disappear. You say to yourself, okay, what's the catch? I see you need 1,000 super credits per war bond, so I assume the first bundle gives you just under 1,000. Here's looking at you, Diablo. No, you get exactly 1,000 super credits for your £10. And even better, you can collect this premium currency in-game, as there's no time restrictions on the battle pass and you have no FOMO. Did all of that sound strange to you as it did to me? It's a shame we've grown to expect the worst, but can you blame us given the recent shit we've had to deal with over the last decade with stuff being rolled out like battle passes and microtransactions? But anyways, I digress and I need to chill.
Calm down, diddly 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 diddly. They did their best, shoddly iddly iddly diddly. Gotta be nice.
So Helldivers 2 has you, a fellow Helldiver, deploying all over the galaxy with the sole purpose of spreading that much needed democracy by the means of ridding all bugs and bots from existence so you and your family can sit back, relax, have a nice sip of Liber-tea. When dropping into a mission, you'll find that every mission will play out differently, especially when playing on the higher difficulties. Your side objectives will change, as does the weather. You can land and it'll be a nice clear day with perfect vision, and the next time you land on the same planet it will be dark and foggy and you can barely see 2 feet in front of you. As well as the weather, you can also have extra enemy types spawn depending on the spawn pool you're dealt. This can range from anything from bile spewers to those annoying little pricks also known as hunters. Seriously, I hate these fuckers with all my heart, and I still see them as the main enemy you need to be aware of. 4 or 5 of these dickheads will easily mess you up faster than any Bile Titan or Hulk ever will. And although it's normally frowned upon about having weapons locked behind paywalls, Helldivers 2 puts a different spin on it. Although there are weapons you can only get behind premium battle passes, you don't have to spend any real money as long as you're willing to grind out the premium currency in-game, and since there's no PvP, there's no advantage to be had by having these premium weapons. And on top of that, you can't even buy the war medals that are needed to buy the weapons anyway, so you're going to be grinding regardless, so pay to win isn't really a concept within Helldivers 2, and I'm all for that.
Hot damn!
Helldivers is a well-designed, addictive and action-packed game, taking inspiration from multiple movie and game franchises. You have the core mechanics of Left 4 Dead, where you fight randomly spawning hordes with your fellow co-op players, building a sense of camaraderie and feel like you're fighting against impossible odds. Mix that in with the humour and mass patriotism of the movie Starship Troopers, where you join the United Citizens Federation in order to rid the galaxy of the arachnid infestation. Sound familiar? And all that's left is to add the aesthetics of the Spartans from the Halo series, and you now have Helldivers 2. Helldivers 2 is addictive from the very get-go, with the allure of being part of an active community all fighting for one single objective, controlled by a live game management system giving you a real sense of camaraderie and inclusiveness. Your Helldiver feels good to control, from the diving mechanics to crossing all types of terrain. The weapons you fire have a great sound and feel to them, further immersing you into your mission. You can mix up your gameplay by using different builds, keeping your gameplay fresh and always expand your skill sets and how you play. Picking your own stratagems and seeing what your squad are taking in can make a huge difference to how you tackle certain situations. Your squad are taking in machine guns and turrets? Okay, I'll take in launchers like the EAT-17 or the quasar cannon to clear up any heavies. I love that the enemies take physical damage, which affects their appearance, which adds to the visual indicators that you're doing something right. It becomes easy for many games to add an easy health bar over an enemy without seeing it physically decay, which again immerses you further. Communicating with your squad through mic or text can be the difference between you taking out an objective or you being blown up as part of that objective in a friendly fire incident. Everyone has a part to play, and if you aren't playing your part, you will see how much harder the mission becomes, giving you that drive to do your best, for you, your fellow Helldivers, and for Super Earth. All these features I've spoken about are not exclusive to just Helldivers, but what Helldivers has done is put all the small details together, making for one intense, funny, and very democratic game that has broken records not by reinventing the wheel, but by doing the basics right and perfecting them. Making sure the studio is in touch with the fan base and showing other developers in the industry that all you need is to listen to what the people want and treat them as a community and not as cash cows. I personally will be playing Helldivers 2 for a very long time, and I hope you will too, just as I go back and play some of my childhood classics like Crash Bandicoot or The Warriors. I feel like Helldivers 2 will be that game I go back to and jump into a hell pod with my friends and get back to spreading that sweet, sweet democracy. Only the future will tell what's in store for Helldivers 2, but I know I'll be ready to answer the call when it does.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I hope you all enjoyed the video. This is my first ever attempt at a video essay, so if you have any feedback on how I can improve, I'm happy to listen. And if you would like to see any more content like this in the future, please consider liking and subscribing. And as always, I'll see you on the battlefield. Blagger out.